His name is Steve Poizner. He's our current insurance commissioner. Steve, welcome to the show.
Hi, Inga.
Hi, I appreciate you coming on. Jerry Brown isn't the only one who launched something today. You've also launched something this week, haven't you?
Well, yes. I've been running for governor for over a year, going on talk radio shows like yours, all up and down the state of California, giving a lot of speeches to conservative grassroots groups, speeches to Tea Party groups. But today I'm launching my broad-based media advertising campaign, and I'm focusing in on my conservative principles, the need to cut taxes by 10% across the board, and the need to finally, once and for all, cut off taxpayer-funded benefits for illegal immigrants. We have to stop illegal immigration once and for all. We're bankrupt as a state. We simply can't afford this any longer. I'm definitely the change candidate, Inga, and I'm proud to be running.
And why is it that you make a point in the press releases, Steve, of saying that you are a Republican in your commercials?
Well, I'm running in the Republican primary, and I'm proud to be a Republican. I've been a Republican all my life, been a conservative all my life. Now, my one opponent, that's left here in the Republican primary is Meg Whitman. We all know that. We hear her saturation advertising all over the place. She doesn't mention the word Republican. She doesn't mention the word conservative. I mean, she's really thinking about, the post-partisan model and, very similar to Governor Schwarzenegger. That's not my approach. I'm proud about my conservative principles. In fact, I want everyone to know what my core conservative principles are, because I'll be making thousands of decisions as governor. You really have to trust, the character and the backbone and the person that's in the governor's office. And that's why I'm being so clear about where I stand on my principles and my key vision for getting California back on track.
And those things are?
Well, I have four key principles that really guide, all of my decision-making these days in terms of public policy. Number one is my passion for individual liberty. I do think that's my most important duty as governor, is to protect everyone's individual liberty. Most important thing by far in terms of my duties. Number two, I believe in personal responsibility. Now, I know the President of the United States is taking the country in a completely different direction. In fact, politicians in Sacramento also have taken the state in a different direction, where we continue to expand government programs, raise taxes. We try to insert government into solving all of our problems. I just disagree with that. The state of California has tried that now for a decade or two, and now, we're bankrupt.
Yeah.
Number three is I believe in free markets, passionately, down to my bones. And consumers always benefit when there's lots of choices, when consumers have lots of choices to pick from, when there's lots of competition. So free markets are key in terms of getting this great state back on track. And finally, I believe in small, more accountable government, lower taxes, smaller government. We want to keep the government out of the way as much as possible. And so as governor, I'm going to be launching a series of smart cuts in spending. We're going to be putting spending and debt caps in place. And most importantly, or just as importantly, because cutting spending is important too, we have to cut taxes. We have to make California attractive again. We have to bring jobs back. That's why I'm proposing 10% cut in sales taxes, income taxes, corporate taxes, and a 50% cut in capital gains taxes. Those kinds of changes, based on conservative principles, that will get California back on track.
Boy, I sure hope so. I sure hope so, Steve. I noticed today, I'm not assuming that you heard Jerry Brown's announcement, because I know you've been up in the air, right? But he used Republican terminology. He said that he will not raise taxes because we're in a recession. He didn't say he would cut them. He said he would downsize government and give authority to local government, which I'm assuming he means shift costs. What do you think?
Gosh, he sounds...
He sounds Republican.
Well, he sounds sort of like Meg Whitman or Governor Schwarzenegger, that kind of thing. I mean, there's a crafty, careful language there that he's using. I mean, he's definitely a shrewd politician. There's just some major differences between me and Meg Whitman and Jerry Brown. Now, the fact is, even Meg Whitman and I, aren't even close to having the same point of view when it comes to taxes. Meg Whitman, maybe like Jerry Brown, they believe that the problem isn't with the tax structure. Meg Whitman has said several times that we can't afford across-the-board tax cuts. Instead, she wants to target a few special sectors with tax credits. Mm-hmm. Well, I just completely disagree with that. We don't want the governor or anybody else picking winners and losers, and we absolutely have to cut taxes for everyone across the board, every family, every consumer, every small business, all businesses all consumers need tax relief. We have one of the highest tax structures in the country. It is driving thousands of taxpayers out of the state each and every week. We've lost 1 million taxpayers, Inga, in the last 5 years. Ironically, or unfortunately, we continue to grow in terms of total population because of illegal immigration and birth rates, really the worst of all worlds. Yeah. We have consumers of government services coming in, like illegal immigrants, and we have taxpayers leaving the state. I mean, no wonder we're bankrupt and we can't balance the budget.
That's exactly right. Now, Meg Whitman has said that she opposed Proposition 187, and I don't know if she voted against it. I'm not sure what she was doing then, but she said she opposed 187. She said she does support immigration reform, but not as it affects the children.
Well, this is another major difference between Meg Whitman and myself. The fact is, I really want to turn the magnets off. The fact is, we spend billions and billions of dollars every year providing taxpayer-funded benefits to people who are here illegally, and it's just wrong.
Yeah.
And economically, it's bankrupting the state.
Yeah.
Now, I supported Proposition 187. She opposes it. I want to turn all the magnets off. I want to turn all benefits off as much as we can based on federal law.
Right.
I want to turn, as governor, I want to turn these magnets off so that people don't have incentives to come here. Now, Meg Whitman has said several times she thinks it's mainly a federal matter. Well, she's just wrong about that. The next governor of the state of California can do a lot of things, including turning the taxpayer benefits stream off, including enforcing the laws against companies who hire people illegally. And I will also send the National Guard to the border as part of a tightening of our borders because we need better border security.
Yeah. Steve, I know we have you for just a few more minutes, and you've got to go on a hard, we've got a time that we've got to let you go. But I want to ask you about something else Meg Whitman said last week in an interview, which was she supported offshore drilling as long as it was proven to be environmentally safe. We have not had an oil spill since, 1969 off of the coast of Santa Barbara. What do you say to that?
Well, campaigns are about choices and differences. There couldn't be a better time now for a gubernatorial race because the state of California is in one of the most deepest crises we've been in 150 years. And so having people run who have different points of view is a good thing.
Oh, I think so, too. In fact, I'd love to see you guys debate, and I know your game.
For sure. As it turns out on this issue, Inga, we do have major differences again. Meg Whitman has been opposed to offshore oil drilling, and then she said a few months ago, well, she supports offshore oil drilling if we use this new modern slant drilling technology, and now she's gone back on that again. So she's on to her third point of view on it, where now she's concerned that it might not be 100% environmentally safe. Let me just be clear about my view. We need to become energy independent. We have billions of barrels of oil off our coastline. We need to begin to expand offshore oil drilling using existing oil platforms and deploying new, modern, safe slant drilling technology to tap into those oil reserves. It'll be great for our economy. It'll be great for energy independence. And Meg Whitman is just once again trying to be on all sides of these issues. No, this isn't the time to have politicians try to bob and weave. I'm running a campaign based on being very specific, very bold, and super clear where I stand. I want all voters to understand exactly my views before they vote for me. Then when they do elect me, they're going to send me to Sacramento with a mandate. Go get these problems fixed.
I will be seeing you in a couple weeks at the CRP, I hope.
Oh, yes, I'll be there. And also, are you going to the CRA convention?
You know what? I can't remember when it is, but I'm on the board, so I really should.
It's this upcoming weekend in the San Jose area. And I'm definitely going to be there, and I hope to see you there. But in any case, I'll see you at the California Republican Party convention.
Yeah. Well, the boys have no soccer this weekend. I might as well drag them with me
right.
even. Yeah, well, that sounds like fun. I look forward to seeing you. I'm glad that you're going to the CRA convention. I fear that you might be the only one, but I'm glad that you're going. And I thank you for your time today, Steve. I know it's a busy schedule, but we had to have you on the day that Jerry Brown announces.
Yeah, and Inga, if for people that have questions about my background, because lots of people are just getting to know me, go to my website, stevepoizner.com. Everything I've talked about today is on my website in great detail, and so I definitely invite people to check it out.
You're not saying anything that you haven't said before, and that's awesome. Stay consistent, and I thank you for your time today, Steve. I hope you have a terrific day.